Hi everyone, welcome to the next video from this page in Small Victories by Johanna Basford. We have a very interesting looking bowl of noodles. I love noodles, I don't know about you. Delicious. Let's have a little look. The thing I've got, the challenge I have with this picture is that I need to try and make it look like it's not just very beige. Because we have the chopsticks, which could potentially be brown. We have the noodles, which, yes, some people might have white. I always have brown noodles, so wholemeal, so they'd be brown. And these look like dumplings. They're sort of white. So we need to try and make it look a little bit more interesting. I think I'm going to do the noodles first. We're using Staedtler Ergosoft again. So, colour-wise. What looks, yeah, I'm gonna go for this. Now this is a really dark 76. For my noodles, I'm gonna sharpen it. Where's my sharpener? Here. And I'm gonna use it as gently as I can to try and get a really pale wholemeal brown colour. Wish me luck. I mean, also, it could be that they've got like a soy sauce or oyster sauce, something like that on them, which would make them look a little bit darker. So that could also be a thing if you don't want them to look, because it's quite dark, isn't it? But it's just we don't really have the right colour. Now, I don't know whether these bits, whether we're supposed to do this bit as well. I'm going to, oh, excuse me. Right, it's just the postman. I'm delivering something I had to sign for, nothing exciting. So anyway, I don't know what to do with this space here. And I'm just tempted to colour it in like that. I don't know whether it's supposed to be a noodle or whether it's supposed to be something else. I'm not sure, so I'm just colouring that in like that, and what I might do is do this as something else, just so we get a bit of different colour, really. There's me just checking that my microphone's working, which it is, thank goodness. This bit, might just leave that bit. Now these two I think look like dumplings. Now dumplings are normally white, aren't they? I don't know much about Chinese food, assuming this is Chinese, I don't even know. I'm going to use 16 really lightly for this one. I've just realised I haven't got my light on. Sorry people, terrible. One day I'll become more professional. You'll wonder who it is making the video. Gosh, she's actually remembered to switch on her microphone, her camera, her light, tell us what pencils and books she's using. My goodness, who is this person? Sorry. Right, I think I'll leave it like that. We don't want it looking too orangey, but it just looks really washed out. What I'm going to do is go over it with this yellow, number 10, it just looks like I've just sketched a tiny bit on there, just to make it a little brighter. No, it looks quite yellowy, but you know, I think it's better than looking wishy-washy, but that's just me. Now, I'm going to do the chopsticks next, and what I've decided is to do them as sort of, maybe we'll just do them coloured. I've got a pair of really nice black chopsticks. I know, let's make them look interesting. You may or may not agree. I'm going to start with 29, which is red, and I'm going to put a little red bit there at the top of the chopsticks, like that. Oh, a dog barking made me jump. And then I'm going to do number 9, which is our black, and do the rest of it in black. I'm just thinking it looks a bit more. Normally, you know, most chopsticks aren't just plain, unless you have the sort of disposable cheap ones, you know. So it's a bit more interesting, isn't it? I don't know how well you can actually see the red. But there we go. Now these bits at the top, I'm thinking I'm going to do them as if they're sort of Chinese leaf cabbagey type thing, but I'm just going to start with this light green, a 50. Now I find this 50 can be quite fluorescent, so I'm not going to use it too hard, but I'm going to do all this sort of bit here with it, like that, and then I'm going to use a slightly darker colour, the 52, to do some sort of darker bits. It's not realistic. I don't really know what Chinese leaf looks like. It doesn't really look like this, but you know, maybe it looks a bit like there's some cabbage. Something healthy. We need some healthy veg after all this cake and ice cream, fritter rolls, pancakes, the burger. Goodness. Now I was going to do these as peas, but what I'm actually going to do, now I don't know. As I say, I have no idea about what's in Chinese food, but I'm going to use this orange, number 4, to do these two bits as if they're carrot. When I make noodles, I put carrot in. I do a sort of stir fry of carrot, peppers, mushrooms. Maybe those are mushrooms. Oh well, these I just do that little bit of orange. It looks a bit weird, doesn't it? Never mind. I want these to be like peas. I tend to do sweet corn with my noodles. I don't know why. Pepper, red pepper, nice and colourful. Bok choy, maybe broccoli. I don't use Chinese leaf or anything exotic. Exotic. You know what I mean. And that sort of thing. Now the bowl, I'm really tempted to do it pink, but we've got a lot of pink and purple going on. I think I will go blue, because you know I was saying, oh, we could do blue things, and I haven't done, I just done the one blue cake stand, so we'd do a blue bowl, but we'd do it in a lighter blue, excuse me, than the blue we used for our cake stand at the top. So if we use 30, and I'm just going to do a really gentle layer of blue over everything, just so that we can just see it, and then I'll think about how I'm going to shape it. This looks like one of those old-fashioned beige mixing bowls. I don't know if you get those in America. I'm talking to you as if you're all American. I know you're not. You're from all over the place. I realise that. I do look at my YouTube stats. I'm spying on you. I know where you're from. No. It doesn't give me that much information. A lot of people country unknown. But what I'm going to do here with this rim, I'm going to make it darker on the edge. Just try and layer up that blue a little bit. I need to sharpen this. I can't find my sharp tip of the pencil. There we go. So dark here, and then slowly fade it towards the middle. Same here. Went for a nice walk this morning, although it got a bit hot. As we left the house, it started raining, which was, me and my son thought was quite funny. Just as we stepped out the door, we could tell it had just started because there wasn't hardly any rain on the floor, and there were big droplets, so you could sort of see, if you know what I mean. And it wasn't raining that hard, and it was warm. And then as we came home, the sun was beating down, and we were getting really hot and weary. But fortunately, I don't know why that line isn't continued up there. Maybe it looked too messy. Yeah, we were quite close to home, but I didn't have a sun hat because, you know, I was wearing my rain mac. Raining. Now I'm going to use a slightly darker blue. I'm going to use the 37. I'm just going to sharpen it. There it is. But we went to the Afro-Caribbean shop in town and looked at, I got my son looking at all the foreign goodies. He wanted some chili plantain crisps because they're so good, because they're just plantain, sunflower oil, salt and chili. So most chili crisps, if you try and buy a chili potato crisp, for example, they've always got loads of sugar and citric acids and all sorts of other things in. But these are just so simple. And I'm going to put a bit under here as well to just try and make it look like a little bit of shadow. I don't know how effective it'll be. So he was very happy to be able to get these crisps, which he rather likes. Not that he didn't eat any when we got in. He was just hot. He just wanted a drink. I'm just going to use a white pen. Going to try my 5, my really slim nibbed Sakura, to try and just put a bit of shine on these. Oh, it's coming. There it is. It has like a shiny piece maybe here, and also even on the chopsticks, because they're sort of painted. Mine are anyway. I don't use mine as in my hair. Not always, not very often, but I don't use them to cook with. I can't eat with chopsticks. I should practice, but I don't. I'm just lazy. I use a fork. Anyway, there is our finished bowl of chops. Quite colourful in the end. I was a bit worried it was going to look a bit beige, but it doesn't. So I'm really pleased with that. I do wonder whether the things here might be mushrooms, not noodles, and you could interpret it as either really. Although mushrooms are grey, not brown, but hey ho. There we go. So thank you for watching today. Quite a short one. Oh no, because I had to stop, didn't I, and get the door. So maybe not quite as short as it seems to me on my camera timing. But anyway, thank you for watching. Hope that you enjoy the rest of your day and happy colouring.